Happy Wednesday, everybody, and happy June. I hope that you all are doing well, and also happy Gay Pride Month. I hope that everybody is enjoying the awesome weather if you are having it right now. So I just wanted to talk to you a few minutes. First off, before I get to the cards, I posted all of my sales for the month of June on my website yesterday. And the most important thing is that all of my classes, every single one of them, are on sale this month. Usually I charge $50 for a 1-hour class, but I'm charging $40. So any classes that you may have been wanting to take, sign up for them now. Just schedule with me as soon as possible, so that way I can get you on the books and we can get all those classes going. So this past week has been interesting, and a lot of it is because I feel that we have 3 different planets in retrograde right now. And so I don't know if you all have been aware of that. I'll get to that all in a second here. So Thursday, September 27th, or September, oh my gosh, Mercury is in retrograde, folks. So it's been a day. So May 27th was the 4 of Coins inverted. And this was all about self-preservation, especially financially. And I was really getting that if you don't already have a retirement plan all set up, do so. Make sure that you're putting money into savings accounts, things like that, just because you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself financially. Okay, so this was all about self-preservation on Thursday. On Friday the card was water. And the one thing is making sure that you're drinking enough water. And I know actually a lot of people have been saying that they've been having a hard time with this because of their work, if they are still having to wear masks, that it is more difficult to get that water intake. So just when you are not working, when you're at home especially, just make sure that you're drinking enough water. But it's also about looking within for any bottled up emotions that you may have been holding in recently. And so this was last Friday. So it feels like things were brewing on Friday concerning emotions, and that you really should talk about that. Talk about your emotions that you've been bottling up. And then on Saturday was the 4 of Cups inverted, and that is about withdrawal. So we have talk about your emotions. Oh, you're not doing that, so you're feeling that you need to withdraw. It's not necessarily a bad thing to have some time to yourself. Honestly, I feel that that's actually a pretty good and healthy thing to do. Introspection, looking at your feelings, just like what you were supposed to do on Friday. But also that maybe you've been feeling very uninspired recently. And so looking for new ways to do your creative things, whatever your ways of expressing yourself and your creativity. If you've been feeling really uninspired recently, maybe just taking a break and trying something new and different. Okay. So we went from water, talk about your emotions, to withdrawing, and then explosion. Because Sunday was the card was the full moon in Aries, and this represents fiery climaxes of what's been being built up. So it's like everybody's emotions were really being blocked and held in, and then bam, Sunday, it's like everybody was, just way fiery. And it was also warning about don't being too blunt, and just making sure that you are trying to be compassionate, but there's a lot of competitive feelings on Sunday. And then Monday was the 6 of Swords. And so this is really interesting. This is about travel, which that was Memorial Day. So, a lot of people may have been traveling for the holiday. But it's also about communication that's really positive and healthy. And especially if things have been really bottled up, hopefully Monday, everything was all cleared up from that. And it also could have just been, hey, take a little road trip somewhere. And then Tuesday was clarity. So it's like we have this wash of emotions. Everybody explodes. Hey, we're good now. Let's travel and or let's communicate a little bit better, and then clarity. And this is about, especially if you've been really having a hard time with clarity of mind. There's some different, and the herb that's associated with this card, because this is the Enchanted Spell Oracle. It's all about it's a medieval hedge witch magic card deck. And so they talk a lot about the different herbs. And so rosemary is the main herb for this card. And rosemary actually helps with your memory. It helps for clarity. It helps. Also, it helps to lower your blood, not your blood pressure, but if you're feeling anxious or something, then that rosemary can actually help calm you down. And so the clarity, it's focus and clear thinking. And it's also, if you have any large projects, just take it a piece at a time rather than feeling too overwhelmed. And just have it and take little breaks in between your different sections that you've been working on. So that way you can finish that project so that you're not feeling too overwhelmed. And then the card for today was the Tower. And it's pretty rare when I get this card. So when I do get it, I'm like, oh boy, what's going on here? So the Tower, it represents destruction and instantaneous change. And the reason for the destruction and instantaneous change is because the foundation of this tower is faulty. There is something wrong with it. There is something wrong with the base or the core of something. So this can be an organization. This can be a group. This can be any number of things, but with the tower, it's showing that this needs to change, that it needs to stop, or that it can't keep on functioning because it is not stable. Okay. And a lot of people have a really hard time with the tower because a lot of people don't like change. They would rather stay in a really crappy situation than to change, than to get out of that situation. So this has really been a really interesting week as far as how we are communicating with each other. And that was the main thing that I was getting from this week, was the communication. And we need to talk about our feelings. We need to maybe watch not to be too blunt, so we're not exploding and being angry at people, and having a positive day on Monday concerning communication and having that clear thought, and then bam, the tower. So we have Pluto, Saturn, and Mercury in retrograde. And I actually write a lot about this in my newsletter. So if you're wanting to learn more about what these three planets mean when they're in retrograde, then you could just sign up for my Patreon page and you can access that. But regardless, this is especially Saturn and Mercury in retrograde because of the communication issues, as well as the karmic issues, okay? Because Saturn's all about karma. And if you are realizing that your karma is maybe coming back at you in some way, maybe you need to rethink how you are doing things or how you're communicating with people. And this is, you can talk about your feelings, and that's actually a healthy way of communicating with people is, this makes me feel this, as opposed to that attacking other people. You're wrong. You're doing this, So just bringing it back to yourself when you are communicating with each other, I think is really important. Especially during this Mercury retrograde, just, and it's in Gemini, no less, which is all about communication. So if you're able to talk in person and or over the phone rather than through text or an email or messenger or something like that, because this is when things really get misconstrued through any type of writing, and you just want to make sure that you are not saying the wrong things, being too blunt, being too mean, being too whatever, or coming across as that way. Now, you can't control what other people think. At the same time, you can just make sure that you are doing the best that you can. Okay. So actually what I'm going to be talking about for my patrons video is aromatherapy and how to help with these communication issues. So I'm hoping that you all are doing well, or as well as you can be. I really think that if you've not joined onto my Patreon page, that maybe do so now, to get all of this information about how to interact with people. And so anyway, I will see you all next Wednesday. All right. Have a good day.